Hello, this is Maximus McCullough with A1 Website Pro, and today we're going to learn all about WooCommerce and setting it up. Right here, I'm looking at my daughter's record company website, Faith McCullough Records, and in here we're going to have a WooCommerce where people can download MP3s, buy merchandise, so on and so forth. So in order to set that up, we're going to use WordPress Content Management System with the WooCommerce plugin. And I'm going to walk you through the steps. So there's no WooCommerce on here as of yet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the dashboard. Let's go scroll down to plugins and click add new. Over here we're going to type in WooCommerce, just like that. And you want to look for the one by Woo Themes. Has millions of downloads, and so we're going to click install now. And then click OK from the dialog box that appears. After it's been installed, click Activate Plugin. Once the plugin is activated, it will automatically create the pages that you need for your WooCommerce to operate, for your e-commerce section to operate. So if you hover over pages and click all pages, if your pages are not there, you're going to have to create them. Previously, I had installed WooCommerce before this, but it's no big deal. I'm going to show you how to add these pages. But the first thing that we're going to do is hover over here and come down to System Status. Now, you'll get valuable information about your WooCommerce system, and so it operates and functions smoothly. And so, right here, here's your log directory. It's writable. This is the version of WordPress that you're running. If you were on a multi-site, you would have that information there. Now notice down here at WP memory limit, it's telling us that they want us to set the memory to 64 megabytes or greater. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing you would want to do is go to a1websitepro.com. And when that loads up, go over here to WordPress and see where it says Functions for WordPress. Now, if you're not subscribed, you're going to have to subscribe to get these or register. But I'm already subscribed, so I'm going to click Log In. And I'm going to log into the panel here. And I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And over here where it says Functions for WordPress, I'll be able to see the codes. One of the things that you can do to find things quickly in Chrome is hit Control F on your keyboard. You get a little dialog box appears up here. And just type in memory, just like that, and hit Enter on your keyboard. And you see how we can increase memory size in WordPress. So what you want to do is you want to take this little code, and this is what you're going to need. So copy that, and I'm going to bring up a little notepad on my computer, and I'm just going to paste that code in there and set it off to the side. And I'm going to show you how to log in to your cPanel and increase that memory limit so you don't have that warning. So here we are in Faith McCullough Records. So we're just going to log into the cPanel of faithmcculloughrecords.com. Type CPANEL just like that. And you want to log in here. And what we'll do is we're going to scroll down to where it says File Manager. Okay? And when this pops up, you want the web group www for Faith McCullough Records and click Go. Now we're going to scroll down to the WP config file. Okay? And what we want to do is hit this code editor up here. Now, if you're in Parallels, Flask, or something like that, the process might be a little bit different. But you want to make your way to this WP config file and click Code Editor. Now, I'll be blanking out some of the information on here because we have passwords to connect to the database and so on. But you click Edit. And what you want to do is take this little code that you have for memory limit, right click and copy it, and come down here towards the bottom, possibly under the language, and then just paste in that code just like that and hit the save button. Now go back to your dashboard where it says the WP memory limit, refresh that page, and you'll see that you're all good now. Okay? So we have the WP memory limit set at 96 megabytes. Now as we scroll down, we've got information about our server, our PHP version that we're using, what our post max size is, which is 8 megabytes. Now if you wanted to increase the post max size, you would do that in your PHP INI file, and that'll be another tutorial that I will have available. Here's your max upload size. I can also show you in another tutorial on how to increase that. Now we're going down here to SOAP client. It says your server does not have SOAP client class enabled. Some gateway plugins which use SOAP may not work as expected. We're going to be using the PayPal payment gateway for this particular website, so we're not worried about enabling the SOAP client. Now if you have FTP access, you can edit that WP config file. If you're back on A1 Website Pro and you come over here to the blog section, or just type into search here, Notepad++, here's a little tutorial with a video that will show you how to use Notepad++ via FTP to log in and change those file settings for you. Okay? So if we go back here and keep scrolling down, well, we're not going to enable SOAP because we don't have to, and we see that we have all these check marks. Now, what I was telling you before about the pages not existing, you notice cart doesn't exist, checkout doesn't exist, and my account doesn't exist, and that's what they're telling us here, that we need to create these pages. So let's go ahead and create a page. Click Add New. And let's just call this cart, just like that, and hit publish. Alright, now we need to add another page, and we're going to call it checkout. So we're going to go here, add new page, call this checkout, and just hit publish just like that. Okay, and we need a my account page. So let's go ahead and add another new page and type in my account. Okay, and just hit publish like that. Now we're going to have to put short codes in here, but I'm going to show you how to do that too. If you click on this right here, it'll take you to it'll just basically just refresh the status on here. So if you click on the little check marks, you'll be able to see some more information about that. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and scroll down, and it looks we already created our pages, and we're going to go from there. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the settings tab over here under WooCommerce, and you can see that we have settings for Ohio, but you would select your state and country right there, and you could sell to only specific locations or sell to all countries. So we'll just say sell to all countries. And for the customer location, we're just going to geolocate their address because it really doesn't matter, because we're going to be able to sell to all countries in this particular website. And the good thing about geolocating the address, the other option that you have is shop-based address or no address. So if you geolocate the address, the user's address will periodically download and store in your WP content directory. So that's kind of a good thing to have. So geolocating the address is a good deal. Of course, if you want to use a shop-based address, you can do that as well, but we're going to leave it on geolocate address. And if addresses aren't necessary, you just click no address. Okay, so we're going to use geolocate address. Now this store notice, let's say that you wanted to put a store-wide notice on your site that's going to appear on your shop and products table. So you would tick this button, and you can put a little message in there like this is for testing purposes. Okay, but we're not going to enable the store-wide notice. Or you could, like, if you have a coupon, let's say that you want a coupon, and I'll show you how to make a coupon here later on in the tutorial, okay, after we start adding our products. So enable site-wide store notices. This is how you would do that, okay? So right now, we're just going to leave that disabled. This API, this enable REST API, well, what does that mean? Well, you want to enable that because there's going to be future updates and everything. And I'm going to have a complete tutorial on this enable REST API and how it's used, because there's a lot of different functions and features, but please just leave that ticked. Okay, so currency options. What we're going to do is we're going to use US dollars. We want the currency on the left. Here's the thousand separator of decimals, the number of decimals. Okay, and then we can just click Save Changes. All right, so let's go ahead and go on to the Products tab up here. Now, here, whenever we click the Products tab, you'll notice that we have these tabs as well underneath of it. So we're going to use a weight measurement of pounds. If you wanted to use a metric or kilograms, you can do that as well. Here's your dimension unit, centimeters. We want to use inches. Okay. Here's the product ratings. So it's a good idea to enable ratings on products reviews, and but what you can do is only allow reviews from verified owners. This is kind of good because it will give you, only if they purchased from you can they leave you a review. Like, not any Tom, Dick, and Harry can come in and leave you a review if you have this ticked here. Okay? Or you could leave that unticked and then just show verified owner lab. So we're going to leave that unticked and just let people come in and ratings, because when we can engage users, that's a good thing to do. Okay, so come over here, click on the display. Now here, your shop page. Remember whenever we set the different pages? So we don't, let me see if we have a shop page. No, we don't. Okay, so let's go back over here, and I'm going to bring up another tab, and we're going to click Add New. We're going to make a shop page, S-H-O-P, just like that, and just click Publish. Okay? Now it's going to be necessary to refresh this, because if I go here and I try to find my shop page, hold on, I believe I'm in the wrong tab here. Got too many things open at one time. So let's go down here to WooCommerce settings once again. Go into the Products tab and to the Display. Now, whenever I click down, I'll be able to see the shop page in here because it was refreshed. So we'll go here, select Shop. So that's the shop page. In the shop page display, what we want to do, we can show products, show categories and subcategories, or show both. So what we'll do is we'll just select this to show both for now. Default category display. Let's just click show subcategories. So from they're in a category page, they're going to see the subcategories of that category. Okay. Here's where you can sort your different, how you want them sorted. You want to custom order plus name, popularity by sales, average rating, sort by the most recent, by price, ascending or descending, greater price or less price. What we're going to do is sort by the most recent. Okay, so here's your add to cart behavior. So what's this all about? What you can do is redirect them to the cart page after they add a product, so they're prompted to pay out right away, or you can enable this Ajax add to cart button. Now what that does is it keeps them on the page, but it'll give them a little message like, this has been successfully added to your cart. So this is a pretty popular way to do things. Now, if you only have one product on your site, you might just want to go ahead and redirect it. Okay, or if you don't think that they're going to add a bunch of stuff to their cart, you could go ahead and redirect. All right, so we're just going to do this because we're going to hopefully have a lot of artists on this site wanting to sell and promote their music. Okay, so now here's your product images. Now this is pretty important, because what it is this shows your catalog image. We're going to make the catalog images 300 pixels by 300 pixels. Okay. Just to give you an idea, this particular screen here is about 1,000 pixels across, okay, from one end of this video to the other end of this video on my screen right here. So if we have a 300 by 300 catalog image, it's going to cover, so far. That's just to give you some calibration information. So on a single product image, though, that's whenever they go to a single product page, it's going to be nice and big. It's going to be 600 by 600 pixels, and we're going to hard crop that one as well as this one. Okay. Now the product thumbnails, these are just little wee thumbnails that give you a kind of an idea, but then when they click on that product thumbnail, it's going to take them to the single product page. So we want these to be smaller, and 180 by 180 pixels. These are pretty much default. And here you can enable the lightbox for product images. Well, what is lightbox? Well, let me go once again to A1 Website Pro, and we just saw an idea of what that is. And so this tutorial, if you click on one of these images, okay, you notice how it comes up in the center, okay, and then you're able to go back and forth. Well, this is called a lightbox, and then people can close it out. So that's what a lightbox is all about. And the other thing that I have on here is there's a little pop-up that has a lightbox that prompts people to subscribe to the page. So that's what lightbox is. You'll see the back of it blackened out and little thing there. So lightbox is a pretty cool feature so that your images stand out. Okay, so let's go back up to the top here and let's click on this inventory. Now here you can enable your stock management. That means, if you have orders coming in and out and you want to keep track of your stock management within your WordPress or WooCommerce content management system, you can do that. Just make sure that you have that ticked. And then here, okay, let's say somebody comes and they order something on your site. They put it in their basket and they order it. And that was your last product. But let's say that, they didn't go through with the order. They put it in their cart, but they didn't go through with the order. Well, how long do you want that to be held up in that person's cart? So you can hold stock for 60 minutes. That's if they bought the last one, and, you just want to keep it in there for 60 minutes just in case they come back and go through with the purchase. Otherwise, it'll be removed and it'll be available for the next person to order that last product or whatever you have. Now here you can enable the low stock notification and enable out of stock notification. So the WooCommerce will send you an email if you have some low stock within your products. So that's a pretty cool thing. Maybe if you set the low stock threshold to 5 and this program sends you a low stock, you say, oh, I got to get some more of that ordered. So you can control your stock threshold here. Like whenever it gets down to 5 products in stock, it's going to send you an email. And then you can enable the out of stock notifications. You could actually increase this number. Maybe whenever it gets down to 2, you're going to consider that as being out of stock, or maybe down to 1, you're just going to consider that being out of stock. So you can modify your inventory here really well. Now, here's another cool option. You could hide the out of stocks. You can hide them altogether. Don't let them be revealed. Or you can allow it and allow back orders from your website if you want to. So you can always show the stock within your, like I'm going to buy red sandals. You can see how many's in stock. Or you can never show the stock amount, or only show the stock whenever there's only 2 left. Like, oh, you only got 2 left, so you can do that kind of thing too. So when you're all done setting your inventory, you could go ahead and enable that. Now on this particular website, we're going to be probably selling T-shirts, hats, and stuff like that for the musicians. So we'll probably want to enable this stock inventory. Now here's downloadable products, since we'll be selling MP3s and probably PDF downloads. So you may be wondering the difference of these file download methods. Well, redirect only redirects them to a link where the file is located. okay, and then they download the file from there. This forced downloads is a PHP function that whenever they click on the link, it downloads the file to their computer directly. And this XXL redirect send file, this is not available on all servers. It has to be on Apache server, and it requires the xsend file module to be enabled on Apache. So if you want to be safe, you can just have that redirect only. Now here's the other access restriction. In order for the people to download these files, we're going to require a login. So let's go ahead and enable that. So, but this setting does not apply to guest purchases. So let's say that somebody comes in, but they do not want to register on the site for an account. They just want to buy the product and go. Well, so if you enable this to require login, the guest purchases can still purchase your products and download it. In fact, they'll get an email with a download link. So you want to make sure that you grant access to the downloadable product after payment. So you want to enable this option to grant access to downloads when orders are processing rather than completed. So if the order's in processing, if you enabled it on PayPal and you set it to processing, you can grant access. And we're going to go ahead and enable that, because they're not going to be redirected to or get the link to download the product until it's marked completed. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and enable that. So as long as they make the payment through PayPal and they come back to the site, they can download it. All right, so let's go ahead and save those changes. Now let's go to the tax table. All right, so here's many people have been confused about taxes and the way they operate on the internet. Well, the last I was told, and you might want to check with your CPA, Certified Public Accountant, this is not legal or tax advice, but if people are purchasing within your state, if you're selling this in the state of Ohio and somebody's buying it in the state of Ohio, you have to enable taxes on that zone. Now, if somebody is buying from Texas or Indonesia or New England or Canada, you don't have to charge them tax, because that's just the way the rules go. All right? But if you want to just charge tax anyway, you can enable taxes and tax calculations. And so you can also reveal the prices with the tax or without tax. Okay? You want to check on your local laws for that, because sometimes in some states it's against the law to show the tax price for an item. At least it used to be. Now, you can calculate the tax based upon the customer's shipping address, their billing address, or their shop base address. We're going to base it upon their shipping address, because if you're selling in Ohio and shipping to Ohio, you have to charge tax. Okay? Now, here's the shipping tax class. So shipping tax class are based upon the cart items, and you'll see that once we start adding products to the cart. Okay, so if you hover over this little question mark, it says it's optionally controlled which tax class shipping rate gets or leaves it to shipping taxes based upon the cart items themselves. So we're going to base it upon the cart items. Okay. Now you can round the tax to the subtotal level instead of rounding per line. So you could go ahead and round the tax up if you want. We're just going to go ahead and round it per line. Okay, so here's some additional tax class. There's a reduced rate and zero rate. Okay, now zero rate is if we're shipping out of the state, and then if we wanted a reduced rate, we could also have that class there. And this is where you would put class. So if you wanted additional tax classes, you would put it down here on the next line. Another tax class. Okay, depending on your needs and your laws and your rules of your country or state. Now, display prices in the shop, excluding tax or including tax. We'll just go ahead and include tax. Display prices during cart and checkout. We can include the tax. Okay. Price display suffix. Okay, so you want to know what this is. Define text to show after your product prices. This could be, for example, INC VAT, to explain your pricing. You can also have prices substituted here using one of the following: price including tax, price excluding tax. So you could put those short codes in there if you like. We're just going to keep it NA. You can display tax totals as itemized or as a single total. So we're going to have it as a single total and let them know what their complete tax is for that particular. So then we're just going to click Save Changes. Okay. So let's go ahead further with our tax rate, standard rates. Okay, so let's go ahead and insert a row. Country code is US, state code. If you want to know what the what to use for your country code, it's just a 2-digit code. Like for US is US. State code would be the abbreviation. Okay, so state code would be OH for Ohio. Okay, the postal zip code is 44512 here. The city would be Youngstown. Okay, the rate is 6.5%. Tax name, we're going to just give this a name. And if you hover over here, you can give it a name. And I'm just going to put Ohio TX, like that. And we will compound it. Compounding is choose whether or not this is a compound rate. Compound taxes rates are applied on the top of other tax rates. So we'll leave that unchecked. We're not going to compound it. We're just going to base it upon the shipping. So choose whether or not this tax rate also gets applied to shipping. And yes, it does. You have to pay tax on shipping. Okay, then click Save Changes. So now everybody that comes to Ohio and buys from here will be charged that tax rate. Other ones will not be charged tax at all. Okay? Reduced rates. So if you want to put a reduced rate, you can here. We're just going to leave it like that because we're not going to reduce any type of tax rate. Let's go to zero rate rates. Now, here you can, put in country code, state code, postal code that you do not want to charge taxes for. Like if you were going to charge taxes on everybody, you would put here who you're not going to charge tax for, but we're only applying taxes to the state of Ohio. And here you can, of course, include another tax class. All right? So you can define tax rates for countries and states. So if you want to, you can see here for available alpha country codes. If you click on that, here's all the alpha country codes that you can use, but we're not worried about that. Okay? So we're just going to click Save Changes. And we're going to go to the checkout. All right, so we have our checkout options and what we're going to accept as our payment gateway. We're going to enable the use of coupons. Coupons are cool because you can have, specials coming up. Here you can enable guest checkout, which means they do not have an account to shop in your store, but they can just come in and check out. Now you can force a secure checkout. Now you're going to have to have this little lock, HTTPS. And if you're wanting to know where to get something like that, you could go to A1 Website Pro's store. And if you're up here at the top, if you go under Services and click on Web Store, you'll be able to get an SSL from us under this SSL and security. And you can see all the certificates here. And their prices. You can see the standard starts at $32.99 a year, and then you have the premium and so on. Okay? So that's what you want to be sure of. Now let's go ahead and scroll down here. Now, remember when we created those pages? Here's where we want to put those pages. So we created the cart page. So let's scroll down. Here's our cart page. Here's our checkout page. We want to scroll down and select our checkout page. Our terms and conditions, we have it set up to be our TOS, terms of service. Okay, so let's continue to scroll down. And here's our checkpoint endpoints. They're also applied to your pages to handle specific action during the checkout processes. They need to be unique. All right, and we're just going to go ahead and save changes. We're going to come back to this gateway. So let's go ahead and click Save Changes. Now, one of the things that I want to show you is that this direct bank transfer, if we click settings, that's going to be the same as going to here. Okay? So if you're in checkout options and you're down here and you click this, this is the exact same thing as that up there. So we do not want to enable bank transfer because we're only going to use PayPal. We're not going to accept checks. So we're going to disable this payment. We're going to make sure cash on delivery, it's not enabled. And the simplify e-commerce, make sure it's not enabled. Okay, it's just another thing that you can use from WooCommerce. But we are going to accept PayPal. And let me show you how to set this up because this is the easiest thing to do. All right, so the PayPal email is going to be max@a1websitepro.com. Oh, pro. Okay, there we go. Max@a1websitepro. Now, this in the sandbox mode, this is for testing purposes only, and you have to have a developer account from PayPal. So if you enable that sandbox, PayPal sandbox, that means that the transaction will not go through. It's just in testing purposes, okay? Now here's your debug log. So you could go ahead, IPN stands for Instant Payment Notification. That means whenever somebody sends a payment, it's going to return the payment back to here, saying that it's been processed or not. Okay, so you can, if you're having problems, you can enable debug logging. Okay, so here we go. Advanced option, receiver email. So max@a1websitepro.com be the PayPal email. Now here's an identity token. Okay, let me hover over this. Optionally, you can enable the payment data transfer token. And then copy your identity token. This will allow payments to be verified without the need for a PayPal IPN. So let's say that you have multiple sites and you need to have an identity token. Okay, so we have A1 Website Pro, we have Web Development Advisors, we have all different kind of websites that we accept the PayPal payment on. So we're going to use a PayPal identity token, and I'm not going to show you what that is, but you will have to log into your PayPal and get it. I'll have a separate tutorial on the PayPal series so that you can show you how to acquire a PayPal identity token. Okay, so here's your invoice prefix, WC, which of course stands for WooCommerce, and we'll just put FMR for Faith McCullough Records. Okay. So here you can send the shipping details to PayPal instead of the billing. So PayPal allows you to send this address. If you're using PayPal shipping labels, you might prefer to send the shipping address rather than the billing address. So if that's what you're doing, you can tick that box there. You can enable the address override to prevent the address from being changed. Okay. So here's the payment action, capture. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to have the capture. We're going to leave that to default style. Now, if you have a different page style, you could go ahead and put that there by entering the name of the page style you wish to use. And you do this within your PayPal account. Okay, you don't do this in your WooCommerce or WordPress dashboard. Okay, so here's your API credentials. You can enter the PayPal API credentials to process refunds via PayPal. So if you want to process refunds, you would want to need your API username, password, and signature for this. But we're not going to worry about that. If we have a refund, we will do it through PayPal system itself and not through the dashboard. So we'll click Save Changes. All right, now our PayPal is all set up and we're ready to receive payments on our WooCommerce at this PayPal address, max@a1websitepro.com. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to shipping. Now you can enable shipping, and that'd be a good thing to do if you're shipping stuff out. And you can have a shipping calculator on the cart page. Now you can hide all shipping costs until an address is entered. Sometimes that's a good idea, especially if you're shipping overseas and whatnot. So you can display the shipping methods with radio buttons or a drop down. I kind of like the radio button, so I'm just going to leave it there. Radio buttons are the little circles. The drop down is just like this. This is a drop down button. The shipping destination. We're going to default it to the billing address. Okay? Instead of defaulting it to the shipping address. That means If they enter a billing address but they don't enter a shipping address, we're going to default to the billing address. Okay? Or you could just say only ship to the user's billing address. And this is just for your records whenever you go in here to process your orders. Okay? You could restrict shipping locations. So ship to all countries you sell for, or you can just ship to specific countries only. Okay, so if we wanted to ship to just the United States, we'd type in United States. And now they'll only see shipping whenever it comes to the United States. Okay? But we're going to go ahead and ship to all. So we're going to take United States out of there. All right? So here's all the countries. And you can take out countries that you don't want to ship to. Possibly a good country to take out would be Nigeria, if it's included in here. Yeah, Nigeria. I'm going to ship to Nigeria. Ship to the rest of them. All right. So let's go ahead and click Save Changes, and we'll come down and go over the shipping methods. All right? All right. So here's all the countries that we're going to ship to. Now let's go down, and once again, this bottom box is the same as these little things right here, these little items. So let's go to flat rate. We're going to enable a flat rate shipping, and all allowable countries. Make it taxable, cost per order. Let's just put, I don't know, $10. Okay? Okay, now we're going to cover additional costs. So let's say that you do sell CDs, hats, and shirts, but then you sell TVs. Maybe you need a different shipping class to cover larger items, okay? So here we have any class. But let's say that we want to make a shipping class to sell bigger items. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is hover over products and see where it says shipping classes. Okay, let's just type in large items. Okay, and give it a slug, large items, just like that. And this is a shipping class for large items. Okay? And so we're just going to add a new shipping class. Okay, now this is, let me go ahead and edit that because I put a C, trying to type and talk at the same time. Sometimes it doesn't work too well. Okay. All right. So now we're ready to go back to our WooCommerce under their settings. Let's go back to our shipping tab, and on our flat rate, we scroll down here where it says cost added, and we'll add this either per order or per item. So let's go per item, because let's say that they ordered a t-shirt, a hat, and then a TV. Well, we want to apply this particular shipping class per item because we're not charging for the other one. So let's go click add cost and see where it says large items here. So let's say the additional cost for flat shipping would be, I don't know, $25, and maybe, you know, it's a big thing to handle, so maybe you want to charge a $5 handling fee. Okay? And here you could put a minimum handling fee. Now remember, these costs are going to be added on top of this cost. Okay? So if you have a shipping class and a product that you add that says large items, there's going to be an additional cost with a handling fee. All right? All right, now these add-on rates. Here's some extra shipping options. So let's say what I like to do here, you see this little structure, and these are called pipes, and they're found by the backslash, usually underneath the backspace on a keyboard. But what I like to do is bring in a little notepad editor like this, so I could get the structure of what we need. So let's give it an option name, and we'll just call this test, and then we'll do the pipe, and we're going to charge an additional cost of 5%, and then put the pipe again. It says on order, class, or item. So let's apply this to the class of large items. Okay, and then so it'll be charged an extra 5% for those if you needed this. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and put that in there. So whenever we start making our products, you can see how this works. So I'm going to click Save Changes. All right, so there you go. All right, so this flat rate shipping is all set up and ready to rock and roll whenever we start adding products. Let's go to the free shipping tab. Do you want to enable free shipping? If you do, where do you want to enable it at? So we could do it to specific countries. Let's say that we just want to enable free shipping in the United States. We would just click this, okay? But we're not going to enable the free shipping module at all. But you can also enable free shipping on orders. Let's go ahead and enable free shipping on orders over $1,000. Okay? And free shipping requires maybe a valid free shipping coupon. So we could have a free shipping coupon too. Or orders over $1,000. Okay? So those are your different variables to enable free shipping. So let's go ahead and click Save that. International delivery. Okay. So international delivery is a little bit more expensive than local delivery. So you can enable this shipping methods and availability. Let's go ahead. We could say selected countries or excluded selected countries. So that's, you would put the here where international delivery is excluded. And so we're going to put excluded selected countries and just put United States. Because we are in the United States, so we're going to exclude the United States from the international delivery. And tax status, we're going to put taxable. Okay? And then you could cost added per order. Okay? So everybody that's not in the United States is going to be charged this per order. Okay, and let's put some type of number in here, 35, and maybe a $5 handling fee, minimum handling fee. We'll just leave that blank. We'll click Save Changes. Now our international delivery for all the countries except the United States is in motion here for an extra cost of $35. Okay? Now maybe you have a delivery service. Okay? Maybe you can enable local delivery for a fixed amount of, maybe you could go $8 per order if you have your own. So we could do allowed zip codes, maybe 44512, 44506. These are different zip codes around this area where we can deliver RCDs and stuff to. And method availability, all allowed countries. Okay? So we're only allowing this in 44512, but let's do a specific country, United States. Okay? No zip codes. So let's click Save Changes. Now you can enable local pickup if you have a store. Maybe you have a store. So we can enable the local pickup for 44512 and 44506. Okay? And method availability, we'll just keep it all allowed countries. All right, so now we have all of our shipping parameters set up and ready to rock and roll within our WooCommerce system. Now let's proceed to the accounts page. Okay, now this is pertaining to the people that come to your website and they get on their accounts page. So we need to define that page, and we created it whenever we created the pages. So let's go ahead and scroll down here, select My Account. All right, so here's My Account endpoints. Endpoints are appended to your URLs to handle specific actions on the accounts page. They should be unique. Okay, so view order, edit account. So once they're touring around on your website, the URL will change at the top, to view order, edit account, and so on and so forth. So you're going to give all these different options to your customers whenever they come. If they lost their password, they'll fill out the lost password page, and then they can log out, which would end their session variable, and so on and so forth. Okay? So that's pretty much straightforward. Now here's register options. You can enable registration, like whenever they're going through a checkout and they have to enter all their information anyway. Go ahead and let them fill out a registration on that and kill two birds with one stone. But you can also enable registration on the account page. Let's say they don't want to buy anything, but they just want to register. Well, they could do that as well. Okay. Now you can display returning customer login reminder to the checkout page. So let's say that they've had stuff in their cart, right? And so they come back in, they're like, hey, you got some stuff in your cart, you haven't checked out yet. So that'd be a good thing to have there. Account creation. You can automatically generate the username from the customer email so that whenever they come back to sign in, all they have to do is enter their username. Now you can automatically generate a customer password or let them set it. So I kind of like the idea of letting them set it. Usually people remember passwords better if they set it themselves. So just click Save Changes. Now the account page is all done. Let's go to emails. All right, so we have several different options from emails, okay? So let's go ahead and go over these. Now the following options will affect the sender email address. Now here's the idea, like if you're using a Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo, a lot of times whenever they get something in their email and it's not from you at Faith McCullough Records, so we could put something like, no reply at faithmcculloughrecords.com, and know that this is not an email address that they reply to. Okay, so and whenever it goes to their email and stuff like that, it won't be labeled as spam, because whenever you put your email address, a Hotmail or Gmail or something like that, then you're going to possibly be suspected as being a spammer. Okay, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing to use your website domain email. Like I have max at faithmcculloughrecords.com, so on and so forth. But you could use a no reply too, and then they won't go to spam. Now, if you want to learn how to create an email address and sync it with your Gmail so that you get it, I have a perfect tutorial on here on A1 Website Pro. Let me just show it to you real quick. So if you have the need to set up an email address within your CPM, we can. So domain email with Gmail is, I believe, the name of the tutorial. So domain email with Gmail. If you go here, this will walk you through all the steps of setting up your domain, setting up your email address within your domain, so you won't be labeled a spammer. And then you could actually watch these two tutorials, the free tutorials, on how to use Gmail with your domain email. So the people, like I get sent Max at A1 Website Pro, well, that goes into my Gmail program, and it's a good thing to use because it makes you a lot more efficient at your thing. All right, so here's something that's pretty cool. You can enter a URL image that you want to show in the email header. So if you have a really good image, you would just want to put that here. You could actually use the media uploader, and if you click on that, you can upload an image. But I'm going to go back because I already have the image that I want to use, and it's on the front end of the website, and it's this image right here of my daughter's beautiful face. I'm going to just right click and copy image URL, and I'm going to paste that image URL right in there, and that's the image of that I want to go in the header of the emails. Okay, now here you can customize the email footer text. Maybe you have something that you want to say at the bottom. Now, right now it just says Faith McCullough Records powered by WooCommerce. Okay, so I don't need powered by WooCommerce in there. Faith McCullough Records. Here you can change the different colors by just clicking on here, and I kind of like bluish colors. Let's see here. Yeah, blue. I like blue. Okay, that'll be our base color for our email templates. The background color is kind of nice. It's kind of like an off gray. The email body background color, I like it to be white. A lot of people, and the code for white is FFF FFF. So if you take all this out of here, just type in FFF FFF, that's going to be pure white. And I kind of like it because it's easier to read. And the body text color, this is kind of like the off black, but I just want it to be black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's black for that particular for the code. So I'm just going to click Save Changes. Okay, and now here we go. New order. So whenever somebody makes a new order, okay, this is the email that they're going to get. So maybe you want, to enable this notification, and you want to be sent a copy of this. So you could type in your email address right here, like if you had somebody else that was processing orders for you. But this is going to default to maximusmccullough29@gmail, and that's fine. So when it comes to my email inbox, I'll be able to know that I received an order. Okay, so here's new customer order. Now this is for basically your email address. So whatever email address that you want in there, and if you wanted more than one, let's say you want to send Max at a1sold.com, and then maybe you want to send one to Max at metaphormusic.com. Okay, so they'll all get notifications. Okay, however email addresses you put in there, just make sure you separate them with commas. Okay, and leave the last email address. Do not put a comma on the last email address. Just leave it like that. Okay. All right. So then, whenever a new customer order, you're going to get site title, new customer order, and this controls the email subject line right here. Okay. New customer order. I'll put FMR within this email, so I know it's Faith McCullough Records that are getting the order. And then the email heading, you could say new customer order from FMR, from Faith McCullough Records. Now here you could choose an email type, HTML, which puts all the codes and the pictures in there, or plain text. Okay, so multi-port, that's a different email format, but I like HTML. Okay, all right. So then I'm just going to click Save Changes here, and now I have my options. Okay, so here's when an order is canceled. Okay, you'll get notified when an order is canceled, and I'm just going to leave all of this set to defaults. Okay, well, maybe canceled order from FMR, because if you have multiple sites like I do, you like to kind of know where these things are coming from. Okay, excuse me. All right, processing order. Okay, so this is an order notification sent to the customers containing all the order details about their payment. Okay, so your site title, Faith McCullough Records order receipt from order date. So it's going to put the title of the site and the order date in there. Now the email heading, thank you for your order. You could customize that, from FMR, but we'll just leave it, thank you for your order. Okay, so that's pretty good. We're going to leave everything pretty much default there. Here's completed order. Now, here's something interesting. So your order from this website is complete, and your email heading, that means that they went through PayPal, they paid for their order, and so they're going to get your order is complete here. Now subject, downloadable. So your site title, order date is complete. Download your files. So that's what we want it to default. That's what it defaults to. Your Faith McCullough Records order from April 6th is complete. Download your files. And then within that HTML document, they will have a little link to click on so that they can download the MP3 or PDF files or whatever we have for sale. Okay? So I'm going to just leave everything as is. Click Save Changes. Now let's go to the customer invoice. Okay, so email subject, invoice order number from order date. The email heading, invoice for your order number. Email subject, so if it's paid, they're going to get this. Email heading paid, email type HTML. So let's say that you enabled something like local pickup or something. Maybe they're going to come and pay for it there. Well, then you're going to need this customer invoice, okay? And whether it's marked paid or not, that will come in there whenever you're processing your orders. And I'll be showing you that later on in the tutorial. This is a very long tutorial, so I'm going to probably be separating these tutorials. All right, so let's go to customer note. Okay, so there's a place whenever you're processing your orders for a customer note. So customer note emails are sent when you add this note to an order. So if you're processing an order, and you want to send the customer a note, you can do this. So, and then once these notes are added, they get stored in the database as well so that the customer can see them. They don't only get emailed them, but when they log in, they can see their notes. Okay? Here's the password reset email that your customer gets. So, and there will be a set of instructions laid out within the email for them to reset their password. So you want to enable that email notification if they lost their password. And then here's the new account email. So new account emails are sent to the customer when they sign up via checkout process or if they register on the account page. So your account on Faith McCullough Records. Welcome to Faith McCullough Records, and it'll have all kind of information. If you ever want to view the template, you can click View Template down here, and you can kind of see what's going on, especially if you're a coder. You can access your account area to view your orders and so on and so forth. And you can edit this file, but pretty much everything's in there that needs to be in there. Okay. All right. Well, let's go on to webhooks. All right. So what is a webhook? Basically, what a webhook is you can integrate. Like, let's say that you create a new product and you want to post it on a social media platform automatically. Well, you would add a webhook for that particular process. This is going to be a different tutorial, and because it's going to get a little bit technical, and I'm going to show you how to do this. So this is going to be a different tutorial altogether. All right, this has been a very long tutorial. I'm going to separate it into segments, and then I'm going to continue on with a new video that's going to go in and start adding products and so on and so forth. And this is Max with A18 Website Pro. I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial.